Harry Holder Movie is one of the best films ever made, and I'm not even joking. It was released in 2013 with such stars such as Julie Walters, Matt Lucas, and Simon Bird, just to name a few. The film begins with a message saying it was based on a true story, so you know we're getting into something good here. And having revisited this film for the video, I can genuinely tell you it's a 10 out of 10. And then it opens with one of the best scenes in cinema, and I can't even explain it, I'll just have to show you in video.
You can do it!
I cannot do that!
Keep going, you'll need it! Push! It's a girl! Thanks, Harry!
After Nan and Harry have an absolute scrap, the funniest scene in the film plays.
Mrs. Pickford's not been the same since her dog died.
Well, at least this new one seems to do as it's told.
At this point in the film, Harry forgets something very important.
Did you get the chicken?
I knew I'd forgotten something.
We'll have to go and get one out the coop.
Oh, I hate doing that.
So now Harry has to go and get chicken from the coop. There's only one problem though. The chickens are part of the fucking marine.
Dinner is served.
After Harry painstakingly goes and gets breakfast, Nan tells him about his long-lost brother, which he's heard about many times.
Lost twin brother called
Otto. I know. There's pictures of him everywhere.
We find out that Harry and his brother were dropped off at his nan's whilst his parents went on holiday, but they never came back. So Nan decides to get rid of one of the children, that being Otto, to a family of Alsatians. Then we find out there's another main character in the film, that being Harry's pet hamster Abu, who has a habit of throwing up a lot.
Boo, you all right?
I'll check on him. Abu.
Because of Abu's excessive throwing up, they decide to take him to the vet, which is where we meet Simon Bird's character, Ed. They decide to do some tests on Abu, and in the end, they decide that he only has a week to live. They decide that they're going to put Abu down, when all of a sudden Harry realizes all the great memories he's had with Abu.
First niggas gotta find me. What's 50 grand to a motherfucker like me? Can you please remind me?
We'll take him home and think about it.
After Ed fails to kill Abu, this is where we meet Harry's evil twin brother Otto.
Yes, it's an evil twin thing, yes. Ooh! That's the Alsatian in me.
We find out that Otto wants Abu for his hamster collection, and is using Ed to capture Abu from Harry's home. When they get home, they decide to ask Abu what he wants to do for his last week being alive. To which Harry and Nan decide they're going to go to Blackpool, and then they sing a song about it.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take it.
After the delightful song, Harry and Nan get a knock at the door.
Nan, how many times? No stripograms on a weeknight.
It's Ed and his henchmen dressed up as nuns, and somehow it manages to trick Harry and Nan. They manage to convince Harry and Nan to go and see Abu, but when Harry walks in on what they're doing, he's not very happy.
I've got my hand on something furry!
What the? So this is what you get up to, is it? Right! Get out! You dirty...
After that, they finally head off to Blackpool. Otto knows where they're going, so he gets Ed and his henchmen to track him down. Right after a quick dance.
San Andreas, I'm CJ from Grove Street, landed the heinous gangbangers and...
Eventually, they make it to Blackpool, or so they think, as they have an encounter with an old man, who tells them that in fact, they're not in Blackpool, they're at the Black Pole.
Black Pole, home of the Black Pole.
That's right.
Excuse me one moment.
After that, they decide that they're going to find somewhere to stay, and they find a bed and breakfast hosted by musical group The Magic Numbers, and as expected, they sing a song. After their stay, they decide to go to the power plant, only to find that it's closed. However, Harry bribes the person working there, and they manage to get a full tour.
This is a Nando's loyalty card. With all 6 stamps. You got my number.
Whilst they're doing the tour, Abu runs off and manages to turn himself into a mutant hamster, and he's even fought by the military because of it. However, he does become back to normal. After the tour, they decide to walk on the beach, and they come across Mr. Poppy. Yeah, Mr. Poppy from the Nativity films, just on the beach as a shell man. Mr. Poppy wants Harry and his friends to go and get his pets or kids or something, like little shell creatures out of a shop for his respect and stuff, but it doesn't really go anywhere in the story. After they get the little shell creatures out of the shop, they decide to have a party at Mr. Poppy's place in a cave. Then Harry meets a girl shell person, and then they decide to sing a song with each other under the water.
I'm Mr. Old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye.
After that, they decide to drive home, when all of a sudden they spot that Harry can win a free stick of rock by partaking in a boxing match. When Harry gets in the ring, he thinks he's going to easily win, as he thinks he's going to be attacking someone who's very small. However, he later finds out that it's actually Ed's henchman who he will be fighting. And not only that, but he's putting nails in his boxing gloves, so there's no chance of Harry winning. After 12 rounds, there's no way Harry thinks he can win, and then surprisingly, Harry actually wins by defeating his opponent by tickling them, and he wins the stick of rock. After the boxing match, Harry and Nan decide that they're going to go and get petrol. However, because they've left Abu in the car, that means that Ed and his henchmen can get him, and that's exactly what happens. Whilst Harry and Nan are getting petrol for the car, someone comes along and asks them if they want a car wash, which, if you guessed it, leads to another fucking song.
My music that I am gonna prove it. They be so cool.
Because Ed and his henchmen didn't manage to get Abu, Otto brought in a fox for them to replace with him. Also, I forgot to mention that the car is out of fuel because Nan decided to drink it all. So they have to walk to Blackpool, when all of a sudden, when someone stops at the side of the road for them, and would you believe it's Ed and his henchmen, they actually take them to Blackpool, but when they get out of the car, they swap Abu with the fox, and somehow Harry and Nan don't notice. After that, Harry goes to the bathroom and meets his girl shell person again. So now she's one of the main characters in the film, I suppose. They decide to all go to the chip shop when, all of a sudden, they realize that the fox is in fact not Abu, but it is a fox. After this, they're all very sad that Abu is now gone, so they sing another fucking song. Oh my god. After the delightful song, Nan finds a trail of barbecue beef hula hoops, which stated earlier in the film was Otto's favourite snack, and they decide to follow it, and would you believe it, it leads straight to Otto's secret base. After getting inside, they come face to face with Otto himself, who shows them that they have Otto on a conveyor belt leading him straight into a pit of wax where it can get turned into one of his models. After Otto and Harry fight, Otto decides to send out walking brains to attack Harry and Nan, like literal brains with teeth. I don't understand who wrote that in the script, but oh my god, who thought of that? After Harry and Nan run away from the brains, all of a sudden the sea people come in and fucking blow up the brains. Then Harry and the shell person decide to get it on, and I'm starting to figure out why this film was rated a PG. But whilst that's happening, Otto stole Abu and is now climbing to the top of the Blackpool Tower. Honestly, at this point, I'm just wondering what film I'm watching because this is not what I remembered as a child. After Otto climbs to the top of the Blackpool Tower, we actually find out that Harry's up there with him climbing too to get Abu back. Then after Harry falls off, Nan pulls up in a fucking helicopter to go and get Abu back. And then while they're trying to get Abu back, Otto falls off Harry's legs and he would not survive that fall. But he does survive the fall because this is the Harry Hill movie and anything is possible. But not only does Otto fall, so does Abu. But luckily Ed catches him just in time. Then Otto's arrested. And then you think it's the end, except they have to explain why Abu was throwing up, and it's one of the worst plot devices to end the film ever. The whole thing is that he's been eating green marker pens, and that's why he's throwing up, leading to the film to begin with. So, you know, great plot, Harry Hill the movie. And then the film's over. Except no, it isn't, because this is Harry Hill the movie and they have to end with one last song.
Sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air. I know.
And then the film finally ends with a fucking memorial to someone's dead hamster. So that was Harry Hill the movie. Honestly, without all the songs, it would be a solid 11 out of 10. But with all the songs, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Purely because, honestly, if you're sitting down to watch this film, you know what you're getting into. Just some, like, film which makes really no sense at all. And I don't think the reviewers were being very fair with them giving them, like, 2s out of 10s and stuff. So I encourage you to all go and watch this film after this video, just so you can see for yourself what a masterpiece this is.